Oh, okay. Let's see if everything is working. We definitely had some technical issues down to the wire, and they're still looming over our head where the show may not be able to go through. It is crazy. It is crazy what I had to go through even to come this far. I've been sending messages to Neil to let him know the show was canceled. And then at the last minute, through my phone, I got in. Now I got to make sure he gets in. So I've been sending him some messages and hopefully he gets them. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't know. Let me know if you can hear my voice. Let me know if you can hear my voice. I see Kalamunka on and Sister Queen Diane. Let me know if you can hear my voice. I definitely have to get him on to do this presentation because we postponed it already, several times. And we can't keep doing that. So let me know if you can hear my voice. I'm going in through my phone, and we have a power outage in the area that happened right before the show. So I had to go into the phone, with the phone and the local internet, uh, which takes over once my phone. Okay, can you hear me, Calamon? Can you hear me? I want to make sure you can hear my voice, but this is coming through. I'll have to type this in. Let me see. All right, now, see if this can go through. Let me see. Okay, good, good, good. Let me leave and send another email to Brother Neil to see if he can come in. So this down to the wire. It's like a conspiracy theory. That's the way it feels. Or a conspiracy, rather, not a theory, but conspiracy. Okay, let's see if he will come in. I sent him the link again. Only thing I could have sent at this time was like barely getting through emails, much less a whole stream. So I guess the local service came back on. But I'm up in the mountains, so if it did, it's going to be iffy. But if I can get him on, let him do the presentation. If I fall off, it's cool because he'll stay on. He's usually prompt in answering his emails, so maybe he'll see them in a little while because he was ready to slam this one out of the park. I'm going to hang on for as long as it takes until I get something back from him. Oof. It's still beautiful out here, and even though it's pitch black in the mountains, except for a few solar power, I got some solar lights around here, so I'm good. Yeah, but I saw what you said there, Calamunk, about uh, black people in America being prisoners of war. Exactly. And it's amazing the types of people who never had the American black experience, but they throw off on it so bad. People from other countries, black people from other countries, they have no idea. They have no idea. And it's not an excuse. No, it's not, but it's a reality of the things you go through. And many worship the enemy so heavily that they despise the people that look like them. I find that so amazing. I'm going to talk about that. I actually did a video out on one of the balconies again, and a short one that I completed when the power went out. Poof. So I got some stuff to upload when it comes on, if it comes on, but we'll see. I want to see. Come on now. Come on, Brother Neil. Diane Hodges Jackson, welcome on in. Yes, I'm waiting for Brother Neil to come in. I had told him about 3 minutes before the show that going to have to postpone it again because of the power issues here in up here where I live in Ghana. But the power issues are still there. But I came in on my phone and it was barely working that way. So I got through. So now I'm trying to get back to him and see if he can come on. Zig Z. Constitution, yes, indeed. I hope he sees this message and comes on because he said he wanted this show to be a 3 hour show. So he had a lot of stuff that he wrote down and you know, it's so peaceful out here though. So tranquil and peaceful. To make sure I get a really great signal, I came out on one of my balconies and I don't know what's going on. Of all times too. I hate when this happens. And it happens a lot when we have our show with Brother Neil. Like right before something will happen. I'm serious. I'm serious. It's some type of AI, something. It can't be just a human being. There's gotta be there are things that happen on the internet that I'm convinced. And it's not like I know more than anybody else. I'm just saying because I'm on it so much and they talk about algorithms and I can see what happens, especially with myself. Not even just power outages, but things that little glitches that happen. And it's like on purpose. There's sometimes there's procedures I have to go through when I'm writing something or I'm doing some editing or whatever to save it, just in case stuff goes down. And sometimes I post stuff and it never goes up. That's why I do it on other platforms like, LANCESCURV X, which is Substack, because they have their own servers and I can upload my videos directly to their servers and it has nothing to do with YouTube. And like I said, you sign up there through your email, it goes right to your inbox. So it's not anything that anybody can interfere with. Ah, I don't know if he's coming. Let me see. I'm gonna leave off again. Maybe it'll be silent for a while. Let me see. Okay, let me I send him another message just to keep it interesting. Let me see. I put the link up inside the room if anybody wants to chat until he comes, if it's possible. Let's see if that works. But you're right, brother. They don't want anything to okay, yeah, there's the link right there. Tracy G in the house. Had a little problem over here. We have a power outage up in the mountains here, which knocked out my satellite internet and the network locally, which is all over Ghana. It might be just this area that's been down. So I've been barely able to communicate with Brother Neil to let him know that the show was canceled. But finally, I got emails through. So he said it's okay to cancel the show. And about 90 seconds before the show came on, or maybe like a few minutes after, I got through on the phone. But here I am on the phone with knowing that he thinks the show is postponed. So I had to hit him with some emails right now, but evidently he didn't get them yet. So I'm waiting to see. I didn't want to let this show just go and you not know it, and everybody not know that there's problems. And even I didn't know I would be able to get in because I could have gotten in earlier and changed the time to another day or whatever. But I don't want to keep doing that. If that ever happens, this is the reason why. But it always happens when I do the show with Neil. There's always something that happens right before. This is why I record a lot of stuff and then upload it where it has to go through lots of times, unless it's something that I really, really want to do live, So it is what it is. It is what it is. We had to work through that. I'm going to go inside. I hope this doesn't interfere with the signal that I have. But if it does, I'll come back out. It's nice and cool. Matthew White, welcome on in. Let me know if you can still hear me at this point. Like I said, we got the power outage going on and stopped everything. I hope Neil can eventually come in. If he doesn't, I'll have to on Substack away from YouTube and then upload it to YouTube after. And I hope you can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up or hit number 1 if you can hear me. Because I'm inside now, so it can last as long as my batteries last. But they've been taking down millions of channels, anything. So they let AI take over. To do Tac Dog that wasn't trained to stop biting you up, you know what I mean? They're going crazy with this information, but nobody. Again, I'm inside now. Let me know if you can. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I got knocked out. Yeah, Tracy. Yeah. See, there's definitely something going on because it's about control, but they're knocking off people's channels. That's letting you know. Well, these are not our platforms anyway. We don't own them. You see, we don't own them at all, and we've gotten used to being on it so much and complacent and relaxed and stuff. So, like I said, I would suggest that everybody, um, with their email, get on a Substack. That's right. That's LANCESCURV X. Actually, that's my custom domain name for there. I'm not promoting it because I'm making money from it. I gain nothing from it. Okay. There is a paid part of it, but I don't require that. It's not necessary. I don't take any money from anybody. I still have a Patreon that I want to take down. And I still have like Cash App and PayPal, but you don't hear me hawking people for that. I'm a creator. I like to keep on creating. Any help is appreciated. Okay. I got a message from Neil right now. Let me see what he says. Let me see what he's saying. I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, I thought that was Neil. I thought that was Neil. Get a message coming in. Ah, okay, Dark Crypto, I see a message here. Would you say you are their slaves? Get rid of government and elites and watch how fast things happen. Well, the thing is, across the board, and we can have this conversation until Neil comes in. The topic of the show is not what we're talking about because this is supposed to be a presentation by Neil. I got a power outage going up on here in the mountains here, so my signal's a little iffy. But yeah, we can do that overnight. But too many people are connected to and addicted to the amenities of this high tech world and how easy things are now. And really, is it easier? Because me personally, I I'm trying to detox myself away from these things, and that's going to be mean me eventually, and not a long time from now, getting off of the internet. Or if I am on the internet, being on it in a limited way, right? And taking my name off of all of this stuff. What I mean by that, and I'll tell it because I really don't care. There's going to come a day when I'll be creating content, but probably once a week's worth that I'll upload at one time. I'll have an account, but it won't be mine. It'll be somebody else's a good distance away from where I physically live. Okay, the power's back on. Is it? I think it is. Hold on. Put it on. I'm on the top floor. I'm actually now I can probably just call Neil. When I go down my staircase on the phone, my signal falls off. So if I fall off for a second, bear with me. Bear with me. Like I said, I really want to have Neil. Okay, I'm back. The power's on, and if you are here, I'm here for good. I still haven't gotten Neil yet, but I have the phone freed up, so now I can see if I can get him back on. It's a very frustrating thing. Trust and believe. Let me see if I can get him on. I don't have to be on the phone now. This is when you have to see your technology. Not going to allow that. Okay, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Yes, I see you, Tracy. Callum Monk. Yes. Okay, let me I don't know if he went to go ahead and continue with his schedule, but let's see. I don't even know if the messages that I was sending to him actually went through. That's the catch. Okay, let's see if we can do this now. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is I don't have a team like 5 people and we're all, it's like when you're doing this thing, you got to wing it. The little problems come up, you got to wing it. Okay, let me get on this Gmail. And okay, I don't even know if he even got this message. Okay. Let me just tell him the power's back on. Let me tell him to come on in. Whew. You just don't know behind the scenes doing this stuff. It can be very frustrating. You got to love what you do. It can be very frustrating. So many people that I know have gotten on and they quit and they give up and it's frustrating, but this is naturally me. This is what I like doing. I like to talk and like to vibe. I like conversations and to bring those types of things. Let me see something. Let me see. All these things are popping up on my screen. Come on, Brother Neil. Let me see if you get this message. Let me also send him the link again. And again, I'll drop it in the room if anybody wants to come on in and chat for a second. We can make the time go by better. There it is. And for the few who are here, thank you for waiting and thank you for bearing through the technical difficulties. Okay. I gave him the link. I don't think he's getting these messages. Let me try through the other email. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And if this is not going to go through with him doing the presentation, I don't want to falsely represent this particular stream by people coming and saying, wait a second, I thought we were going to talk about this. I have to reschedule this one looking exactly like this and then come back with something else with a different band, a different topic or whatever. We can freestyle it. Okay. I'm in my other email account. Let me see if I can reach him here. New message. Okay, this is it. Let me make sure. This is so weird. Okay, I copied and pasted it, but it's not coming through. I got to give you all an award for patience, I'll tell you that much. Okay, let me just tell him. The power has returned. I dropped the link. Let's see if he can come on in. Okay, this message was sent. I know that for a fact. And it was some work that I was uploading that I don't know if I'm going to have to start it all over again. Let me check and see. Does actually come in. Brother Neil, where are you? You're right, Tracy. You're right, Calamont. It's warfare, and they want us to keep us emotional. They want to keep us frustrated. You know, it's got to be to the point where we have to be so focused on our personal mission. Now, I'm not saying it has to go this extreme, but we have to be so focused on where we're going, right? Whatever our downloads require of us, that if our foot gets chopped off, we just keep walking. You know what I mean? It has to be that way. This really and truly, with their platforms that we're on, this is child's play. This is their game. This is what they want. The minute we can detach from this, and I don't mean just the internet, but we're going to have to go to some kind of alternative ways of communicating, and it won't be instantly as efficient as this because we've gotten accustomed to this. We're going to have to take a few steps back to make a few steps forward. You know, and this gift of the internet, it was only to trap us. It's only, just like I said in the other video, it's only a trap. Get us complacent, get us telling all our business because we got used to doing that. If you can remember back in the day, there was always that woman, oh, I'm not going to get on there and tell all my business. And 3 or 4 years later, she's telling all of it. You know, it's they studied us though. They've studied us for a long, long time. And they know how to pit us against each other, come up with different divisions, and we're at war with each other. And these who are the shadow governments and so-called elites, they're sitting back laughing. Because we're the consumers, we're the ones warring against each other. We outnumber them, but if they have us turned against each other, then what is it to do? We're doing the job for them. We take their little statuses that they give us and parade with it as though we're better on so many different levels. You see? You know, I'm in shape, you're not. I have more money than you. You don't have as much as I do. I'm more skilled than you. And we're bragging about skills in a system we don't control. Isn't that something? And when they want to pull the plug from those, they're screwed too. You see, so there's so many ways for us that they put out there for us to feel superior to one another, when really it's all based in what they allow us, instead of us pulling away and showing some unity. The way to be superior is to be unified against the enemy. If we're sucking from the wrong breast of what they give us as far as status in their system, we don't have any power. They will allow us to flex their power to other people who look like us, but it's their power. See, we can have all the wires in the world, but if they don't have the power hooked up to us, we're nothing, because we have honored them as being the epitome. It's as simple as that. And the more I see it, is the more I just desire to not be in it, because it ruins people. It ruins their minds. They go their whole life chasing for approval in a system that hates them. You know, and it's a long detox. It's not going to be something you do overnight, depending on the degree of toxicity that you have retained being in the system. There's certain cravings I don't have anymore. I mean, not that I actually did in their system, but there's certain things it's like, okay, you know, I don't need that. There was a point in my life when I was so like addicted to New York City. Like I could never live anywhere else. New York City, I'll never leave this place. I mean, that was before the internet, right? And as time went on, it's like, oh God, I gotta get out of here. We're down to Florida. When Orlando wasn't as bad. It was the tail end of the tranquility of Orlando. Things were going on down there. But now, oh God, I couldn't wait to get out of there. When I think of, and this is just personal preferences. I'm not saying everybody has to do or have the same journey. Respect the truth. Welcome on in. Peace. Yes. Sister Queen Diane, welcome on in. Yeah. I'm going to explain again. We had a power outage out here, and it knocked out my satellite internet because my power is hooked up to that. And simultaneously, the network, the local internet network through the air that I can use to my phone, that was weak. It was glitchy. Now, I'm up in the mountains, I guess, from where it's projected, and it was glitchy, so it could only send out emails. I was trying to reach Neil Frazier to see, because I was sending him emails that he got saying, hey, I have no power. But once I realized I got the signal through my phone, I tried to reach back to him, but I guess he didn't get it. I guess he moved on. So here we are with the show advertised a certain way, but the topic is not here. So again, I'm just running my mouth right now. And what I may do, what time is it now for me? It's 8:38. I was in the middle of uploading 2 things that I did earlier today. And that's when the power went out. And this was all set. So if I do restructure this and post it up when we can do it again, and we're getting so close to Monday again, and might as well just say, hey, let's just do this on Monday and maybe double up shows with him this week. And then, he can prepare more, because he said he prepared a whole lot, for this one. This was going to be a 3-hour show. So I guess this might have to be postponed. But I'm glad the power's back on, that much is for sure. But the solar that I want is not a cheap thing, because a lot of the solar that they have is barely enough for certain things. I want to have so much panels and so much batteries that it's like having, full electric power. There are people who have solar power that I know up here. They can't even run their water pump. They can't even run utensils, not utensils, like mixers and just regular stuff. They can't do it, so what's the use of having solar when it's like this? Well, we have some new folks here, No Name and him, Panda. Where are we getting these names from? That's not a put down. That's just, admire the creativity. So like I said, Brother Neela's not here. So we will continue on with the conversation. If there's anybody who wants to come in, anything you want me to address, put it in the chat room, and I will ramble on it. You I have no problem talking. I am a little thirsty, so if you allow me a second to go and get some almond milk, I'll be glad to get that and come back. So let me do that. Let me go on and get some almond milk, and I'll be right back. I'll be right back, y'all. Yes, I am. That was quick. Let me switch up this screen. Change this up a little bit. Boom. We'll rock with that one. The usual one. Okay. Trying to pass a law against dual citizenship. Yeah, I did a video on that this morning. And basically, it's not a law. They're proposing that, but it's not a law. And to capsulize everything I said, because it was only a 5-minute video, but I wrote an article about it also, more in depth. Basically, it's not going to go through. You know, too many lawsuits are going to happen behind it. Too many things are going to happen behind this. And there's so many politicians that have dual citizenship. What are they going to do with them? They say there's a concern about dual allegiance, and that's the personal choice. Dual citizenship has always been around. Let me see if I can bring it up and just play this video on the show. And let's see if you can hear it. Okay. Let me know if you can hear this. Okay. I doubt it by the way the settings are. We have to speak the facts about Donald Trump and the dual citizenship controversy that's going on right now. There's a lot of fear-mongering. Can you hear this? A lot of false news going out about this. And I did a little research and I want to break it. I'm playing the video now. Can you hear it? Okay. This is Thursday, December 4th, 2025. So no, I don't think so. After this date, things may have changed. You know what I'm going to have to do? But here's what's happening now. I'm going to pull this window up. There is a new bill. Okay, I'm going to pull this window up. That's what we're going to do. And we'll play it that way. Hold on. There's more ways to skin a cat. Okay, we're going to open it up this way. All right, we're going to share the window. It's a short video, so. Okay, this thing keeps opening up independently. Hold on. Technology. Bear with me, family. I guess this is a bear with me night. Okay, I think I get it. I'll get it now. Hold on. At least the power is back on, right? Okay, we'll put this here, open it up. All right, where is it? Okay. This thing is acting so weird. All right. Okay, this is one of the windows open. Let's go in now and share screen. Okay, let's share this. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll take it off. Let me take this banner off. Okay, there it is. Now, let's just make this full screen. All right, let's make this full screen. All right, let me make this play, and you should be able to hear this now. Hold tight. We have to speak the facts about Donald Trump and the dual citizenship controversy that's going on right now. There's a lot of fear-mongering, and there's a lot of false news going out about this. And I did a little research, and I want to break it down. Let's get right into it, okay? This is Thursday, December 4th, 2025. So if you see this video and it's after this date, things may have changed. But here's what's happening now, the facts. There is a new bill in the U.S. Senate named the Exclusive Citizenship Act of 2025, introduced by Bernie Moreno, a Republican from Ohio. If the bill becomes law, it would prohibit U.S. citizens from simultaneously holding citizenship of another country. Under its terms, people who currently have dual citizenship would have to choose within a set period, either renounce their foreign citizenship or give up U.S. citizenship. The default, if someone does nothing within the time frame, would be that U.S. citizenship is considered relinquished. The bill is relatively new, just proposed. Okay, I'm gonna start it back from the beginning since you didn't hear everything, so you don't miss anything. We have to speak the facts about Donald Trump and the dual citizenship controversy that's going on right now. There's a lot of fear mongering and there's a lot of false news going out about this. And I did a little research and I want to break it down. Let's get right into it, okay? This is Thursday, December 4th, 2025. So if you see this video and it's after this date, things may have changed. But here's what's happening now, the facts. There is a new bill in the U.S. Senate named the Exclusive Citizenship Act of 2025, introduced by Bernie Moreno, a Republican from Ohio. If the bill becomes law, it would prohibit U.S. citizens from simultaneously holding citizenship of another country. Under its terms, people who currently have dual citizenship would have to choose within a set period, either renounce their foreign citizenship or give up U.S. citizenship. The default, if someone does nothing within the time frame, would be that U.S. citizenship is considered relinquished. The bill is relatively new, just proposed this month, December of 2025, and is still a proposal, not a law. As of now, under existing U.S. law, dual citizenship is allowed. Here is what is not yet true. There is no final rule forcing you to choose. The bill has not been passed into law. It remains a proposal until or unless Congress enacts it. Court challenges the existing legal status remains in force. Dual citizenship is permitted. Therefore, there is no guaranteed legal obligation for someone with dual citizenship to choose between them. Now, here is what is uncertain or depends on future events. It is not guaranteed that the bill will pass. The U.S. legal system has strong precedents protecting citizenship rights, and some legal experts believe such a law could face constitutional challenges. Even if the bill passes, there may be some legal challenges based on constitutional grounds. Example, involuntary loss of citizenship and due process. Enforcement could be messy. Tracking dual citizenship, enforcing renunciations, and dealing with diplomatic inter-country issues can create complications. What this means for you if you hold dual citizenship, given what we know right now. As of today, Thursday, December 4th, 2025, you are still legally fine to hold both citizenships, the U.S. citizenship and the citizenship that you have in your foreign country. The proposed law has not yet changed that. If the bill becomes law, you might, in principle, be forced to choose. That means renouncing your foreign citizenship or your U.S. citizenship. But at this stage, it is proposed, not a certainty. It's more accurate to treat it as a possibility and not a done deal. Additional context and why some people are comparing this to previous dual citizenship politicians. Historically, many U.S. politicians and public figures have had dual citizenship, U.S. and another country, which shows that dual citizenship has been tolerated until now. The bill is being promoted under arguments that exclusive allegiance and concerns over divided loyalties. but the existing legal tradition in the US and in many other countries has accepted dual citizenship unless legislation overrides it. Okay, let's just capsulize this and just say the bottom line. It's true. There is an active proposal that would force dual citizens to choose between US and their other citizenship. To pick one, at least not now. It is accurate and honest, not fake news, to say that dual citizenship might be challenged soon. But you also should clearly say it is a proposal, not a current rule. Because there is uncertainty about passage, about legal challenges, you're right to treat this as a watch this space situation, not a done deal. I hope this has been helpful. LANCESCURV out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and share this video if you have anybody else who has a dual citizenship concern. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you very much. Peace. Okay, that was it. I have a longer article on LANCESCURV. I'll drop the link here for who wants to see it. Just give me a second to clear some stuff up, because when the power went out, I was in the middle of a lot of things. So yeah, you know, they want to keep us there, but they don't want to pay reparations. They pay reparations to so many other people and currently still do to the 1948s. We don't get anything. The 1940s just came on in and we deliver it to them, you know? And the Holocaust that we go through is continuing, and, you know, they want us there, but they don't want us. They're really scared, since we have the mindset of wanting to leave, that we'll take the money and run. Those of us who are smarter, because there's so many of us that'll still stay there and keep the money there. And okay, I didn't even know the screen was open like this. Yes, Chance Rogers, we be scurving them. The topic that we are supposed to have tonight, Neil Frazier's not here. We had a power outage minutes before. We canceled, postponed it, and then I got a chance to get on through my phone, and then now the power's back on. So I hit okay, Calamunk is here. Let me open up the screen. Scurving them. The topic that we're supposed to have tonight, Neil Frazier's not here. We had a power outage minutes before. Okay, we got a little echo over there, brother. Let me remove this screen. I don't even have my camera hooked up yet, so I'll keep you in the middle. Well, now I got to run to the answer the call to nature. I got my almond milk, and so now, since you are center screen, brother, I'm going to ask you to drop a few words until I get back in 2 or 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Is it okay?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
yeah,
brother.
Man, go get your almond milk, because I still got some of mine's left too in the refrigerator. Anyways, what I see getting down to it is that they want us to stay here and continue to be good slaves and to buy into the system that has never looked out for us. And I'm not muted. I don't think I'm muted. Can you guys hear me? Can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? I think something's going on. Hello.
Yes, indeed. I am back. I see Callow Monk had to run. Sorry to throw him in there like that. But yeah. It's something about us though. You know, everybody else gets a free ride. Everybody else gets a pass. But when we stay, we catch hell. When we leave, they want to bring and make us catch hell. Yes, brother. I see you back on. Okay. Okay, let me see something here. Which screen do I have on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
This screen here, there's one I have to remove. I think it's this one. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I didn't connect my camera because I was shooting some other videos, so I didn't want to put the cam on. The cam is lower quality, so that's why. But I'm here. Yeah. So what you were saying, brother?
I was saying that they don't want us to leave because we're fitting the bill. Like I was doing some research on what they actually do with the citizens, like the poor people on the bottom paying all these taxes and paying all these bills. They're really taking care of the rich. So that's what they want you to do. They want you to stay in this country and have the illusion of freedom while you're paying all these bills and you're making somebody rich paying. You got the insurance, you got the hospital insurance, you have the car insurance, you have paying all these taxes, then you have the rent, then you have your cell phone bill, then you have child care, and then you have paying all these are millions of people paying millions of dollars, and who's getting fat off of this? It's the politicians. The politicians saying, pass this bill, we're gonna help you out. It's all pimping, man. It's all pimping. And a pimp, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be explicit for a second. But a pimp does not want his bottom girl leaving nowhere. The pimp a pimp wants to be able to send the girl out and for the girl to do whatever she do to get the money and bring it right back to him. He don't want he don't want the slave talking about moving around and creating his own. That's the reason. That's the main reason why they don't want to give us reparations, because they say if we give you reparations, it's gonna cripple the country. The country needs to be crippled. You know why? Because you guys got fat off of the backs of us, and now it's time for y'all to feel it. But they don't want to feel it. Now they want to just do what they did what they did, enslaving us and lying us and miseducating us for all these years, and they want to get away with it. No, you got to pay. It's restitution, and atonement. They don't want to do it. So guess what? They're gonna have to be forced to do it, just like Pharaoh in the Bible. Just like Pharaoh, he either let my people go or leave us the hell alone. But they don't want to do that because they're benefiting from it. So that's why they, my opinion, that's the reason why they doing all this stuff to keep all this chaos going. Because they want you to flip out, they want you to crash out, so they can neutralize you. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be quiet. That's why they neutralize all the real ones talking about coming together and fighting back. You know what I mean? I've been listening to Dr. Khalid Muhammad, former Nation of Islam, and he was with the Black Panthers. They got rid of him. They poisoned him.
Yep.
And they're going to turn around and say it was a brain aneurysm. They did the same thing to Johnny Cochran. And what was Johnny Cochran fighting for? He was fighting for reparations, for freedom for our people. They gave him they hit him with a brain aneurysm too. So come on, bro. It's the writing is on the wall. What's going on? And those who are fully awake, that's the reason why we left. That's the reason why you left, because you know, yeah, you smell the stench here. It's a, you know, and it's like, come on, bro. How long are we gonna go through hell when there's heaven on earth? Why we could choose to be subjected to hell when there's heaven on earth? That's my question.
Exactly. Yeah. I know he's not going to say it, but Brother Malik from the Muslim Street, you know, he was once Khalid Muhammad's bodyguard, one of his bodyguards.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah. Malik has a deep history, just like Vibrant Muhammad, Issa White. They both have some, and they've been friends for a long time, but they have the stories they can tell the people they know. I just want to stick that in there. That was amazing. And I think I put the video up the day that Akbar Muhammad came to my house, and we did a little interview in a little tiny studio. You know, they had a little time to kill before they went to the airport. So Vibrant called me up. He says, Brother Lance, he says, can we bring Brother Akbar to the house? I was in the bed sleeping. I was like, yeah. I got up. I got up and got ready, and we did a little 20-minute something. I think we put it up on Substack. I know I can get to it, so I'm going to probably put that up soon. It was a close shot with the both of them. I didn't hog any space or anything like that, but it was just an honor. But I mean, I had met him already before. We had lunch, dinner, and did other interviews, but to have him come to the house when I was in Orlando was awesome. But yeah. And because they control these social media streets, it's not our platform. We don't run it. They're going to push the things that they want to push. And they want to have things to make us feel as though the general consensus of what's out there is against us, and we're in the minority. And they'll let certain voices thrive and grow. They will. And we can't let them formulate reality in our minds, us thinking that, well, you know, powerful to think. We got to know that. And we are a threat just being who we are. And I do feel that they know more about us than we know about ourselves in general. There's something about us that is so powerful that if we connect the dots somehow and just ascend to who we're supposed to be, this wouldn't be happening. For them to stay in power, we've got to stay ignorant.
Yeah.
And they want us talking like this. They want us
divided
on a carnal level, on a very low carnal level, or antagonistic against each other. So we eat each other up like a cancer.
Yeah.
And never thrive, because they can't see. Here's the thing too. We have such a loving heart that we have traditionally opened ourselves up to other people, but other people haven't opened themselves up to us.
Right.
You see? And we don't realize that. And through religion and miseducation, we keep on with this whole thing. I'm not saying to go out there and unalive anybody, but we need to look out for each other first. I don't think there's anybody in this chat room that gets paid and goes and pays everybody else's light bill until their check is exhausted and goes home and sits home in the dark. You have to take care of yourself first. Everybody else, they do it. The Chinese, the so-called Jews, right? The Japanese, Indians from India.
Yep.
I can name off different cultures, different races, and it's okay for them to do that. But the minute we talk about unifying, it's a big problem. We're radical. We're radical according to their dictates.
That's right.
Because we're not supposed to think this way. They didn't teach us this. Where is it coming from? We've got to cut the bad apples out. And they make it seem as though it's so evil when we speak this way. When you break it down logically, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, and they love it, and they love to say anti-Semitic. How are we going to be anti-Semitic when we're the original Jews? How is that? They love that. That's like that. That's like a code word, like what Kevin Hart saying that if something is uncomfortable to you, you say pineapple. That's their code word to shut down us from really exposing what's really going on. You're anti-Semitic. No. How can I be anti-Semitic when I'm the original Jew?
You're gonna be anti yourself. Well, you know what? We are the originals, right? And so when we go against each other, that's anti-Semitism too. When you see a black man killing another black man, that's anti-Semitism, technically.
Anti-Semitic, yep. Exactly.
And since these people are anti us, they're the ones who are anti-Semitic.
You're right. It's that. There it is. Bomber drop.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's just to keep us confused and to keep us
screwed up.
That's all. They don't want to speaking out and taking action, because there's one thing to talk about it, but it's also when you pull back on buying their products, or saying people boycott this and don't buy this. That's when they don't like that. They don't like when you hit their pockets, because they know that we have the intelligence and the influence all over the planet. That's why they don't want you saying certain things, because they're influence. You know what I mean? If more so-called black people know that we are the number one influencers, we can change this overnight. But we, like you said though, we're divided. That's the number one thing: divided and miseducated. And it's like, just like what happened with Shaka Zulu and his kingdom. His kingdom fell because of his brother, and other things too. But yeah, that's all.
It happens in-house.
Yeah, in-house. That's the reason how it happens every time. It happened with Malcolm X. They send his own people to do it, because if his own people do it, then there was going to be no big backlash. Because you guys did it to yourself. Look, you know what I mean? If it was a bunch of so-called Jewish people that did it, it would be a problem. So, yeah. So that's what's going on, man. And it's like all this chaos going on around the world is by design. These are gender wars. The black woman can't stand the black man, and the black man she ain't good enough. It's by design. All this. You know what I mean? This mentality, I got mine, you better get yours. It's by design. Come on, bro. Who else does that? Everybody looks out. All the other groups look out for each other. Why do we have the crab in a bucket mentality? It's by design.
Neil Frazier's in the house. Oh my God. Neil Frazier's in the house.
You know what's so crazy about this? When I got back in, I said, well, let me check my email and see what's going on. So I cut the TV on, and up pops the show. I'm like, wait a minute.
we were waiting for you, brother. I sent you some emails. I know you probably, I don't know how the sound is coming through for Brother Neil. I don't know if this is something on my side I have to take. Let's just check again and make sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I see you got a brother there, but I need to run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Right. No. This is a show. We were killing time and we just kept going. But I was, if you see the replay, I was waiting for you. But see, I know that
because to turn on the TV and the first thing that popped up, I was like, oh. I'll be right back, bro.
No, well, see, I had got through. This is what happened. The power eventually came back on, right?
Okay.
And before that, it was okay. There's two things I want to explain so this is weird. This is weird, right?
Wow.
The power, the electric power that comes in, the standard power that I pay for, empowers my dish that goes to the satellite to get my internet. If that power goes out, my internet goes out. But we have internet, a service that's on the phone. That's I'm not gonna say local, like it's local. It's in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
MTN, right? So my phone, but that service went down, and it wasn't because of right? Wasn't because of the power locally here. That just happened to go down. So I was
That
trying to
sound
go
like a
through there and come back on
combination pump.
and set the show up.
It sound
And
like a
that's why
combination.
yeah, I'm telling you. So I I went out on the terrace, I went out on the balcony and tried through the phone, and it was slow. Bing, it popped on. That's when I said, let me try to shoot you an email and let you know that it came back on. Maybe because I know you have other things to do. You know?
Yeah, I was doing something. That's why I didn't really. I got a notification, but since I knew, I was like, well, I know it ain't Lance, so I need to finish what I'm doing. Hey, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, take your time, brother. Okay. Did everybody else hear Neil, Brother Neil, loud and clear? When Neil was talking, did you hear him talking clear? How was his sound? And you can tell, okay, when the traditional web service goes down. Okay, ZigZ, I'm gonna check that out. Reticulum, I'm gonna search that out. And as you can see, I was out in the sun today. I'm sweaty, a little color on me. I'm gonna put that other light on. I didn't anticipate. I didn't even have my camera hooked up or anything, so it's hooked up now. But how was the sound when Neil? Okay, so you heard it when Neil came on. That's the only thing I want to know. Because sometimes the settings, there's so many different settings on this, and I'm gonna actually let me stop this feedback. I got this too loud. I got to get another pair of headphones and the speakers and all this stuff. This stuff is, you know, stuff breaks down. You got to get more, you know. Oh, thank you, enlightened one. Thank you so much. Who is this emailing me? Okay, we're just waiting for Brother Neil to, because I want to really. This is strange. We've been on for an hour and 8 minutes, and now he's finally getting on. But you know, I mean, he thought it was postponed, but at least the show will go on. I'm happy about that, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, when he popped on, I was like, whoa.
I want to ask you your opinion, Uncle Lance. What was your opinion on Dr. Khalid Muhammad when he was alive?
Oh, I loved him. He was a comedian too, you know, the way he had his delivery. Right. But he didn't let nothing stop him. I wouldn't say he's hardcore to say, oh, he's hardcore. No, that's the way we should be. We have these circumstances in a world coming to crush us like that. Yeah, we can be genteel. We can be mannerable with our people. We can be a certain way when we're treated a certain way, as long as we're allowed to communicate. And if we're not allowed to communicate, we're going to do it anyway. Yeah. Right. But no, he was on point. That's the way it should be. You know,
yeah,
I have to say
brothers discussing.
Oh no, we're waiting for you, brother.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I heard of.
Yeah, no, I'll finish this part up. What I'm saying is that when they want to call us monkeys, when they want to call us primates, when they want to call us something subpar, nobody calls it out. It's okay. Mm-hmm. But then if we dig into the history and speak about where they came from, what they're all about, their nature as the virus of the planet, we're wrong. So
right.
We have to back up those who speak strong, because there are too many of us who look like us. And I'm going to speak about it in private and in public. I'm not going to speak about it in public yet, because there's somebody trying to agitate me to make me say something and come at them. But when I do come at them, they won't be able to come back. No, it's serious though. The games that people play online, because you being who you are, right? And you can explain why you are the way you are, but they got a problem with it because you don't bow down to the ones that they want to bow down to.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
No, I got a problem with somebody.
Yeah.
I got a problem with somebody, and I'm going to get them. And I don't go after people, but if they keep poking me.
Yeah, keep poking the bear.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But I'll go in and get a swift one. I'm not. Yeah. Don't, you know, come on. I know what's up with these people, but yeah, I'm gonna shut you down.
And I'm not saying
I mean, you
I'm
have a
some
right.
powerful guy or whatever have you, but I see it clearly. But today was off the chain. So
Somebody
I'll just
came
wait
to
to
you
just do it
directly.
all publicly. Pow, pow, pow. And keep the receipts. But go ahead, Brother Neil.
No,
I'm glad you're here, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here. I didn't want to X the brother out right there, whatever he was saying.
Well, come on, let's say some more, brother.
Yeah, I was talking about Dr. Khalid Muhammad because I've been doing my research. Yeah, I've been doing my research on all the so-called radical brothers or whatever, and they neutralize and isolate, a lot of the brothers, and it's just apparent to me that because these brothers are so strong and so powerful, they want to take them out and put us back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like these brothers were sent to us to wake us up, and they get us half up, and then as soon as we get ready to fully materialize and fully awaken, they get rid of them, and then we go right back to sleep.
It's not funny, but it's true. The way you're saying it is true.
Yeah, and then we got watered down people like Dr. Umar. I ain't gonna, whatever. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to lose. Like Dr. Umar, he's a watered down version of Khalid Muhammad, in my opinion. And it's like, they give us these watered down individuals that wasn't as fiery and wasn't as effective as the real ones. And it's like we go right back to sleep and we go right back to doing the same things that we've done in the past that don't get us nowhere.
Good point.
I'm gonna say one more thing. I've been doing a lot of research on Dr. Malachi Z. York and his son, and they try to shut him down. They put him in prison for 156 years. Like, dude, they want his spirit to die in prison. They don't want to release his spirit. They want to keep that spirit deep, dark in a deep, dark place. So nobody really, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
Can't catch fire.
Yeah, exactly. Where they can't catch fire. But we have to tap into these brothers' energies, man, and keep this fire going because their time is up, man. These evildoers, their time is up and they know it. And that's the reason why they try to keep all the chaos going on. Because they know that their power and control is up.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Wow. That's powerful. You're right about that. Interesting about Dr. Khalid Muhammad. He's the only person that ever Congress drafted a bill against him, I believe.
Right. Yep.
And what you're saying is so true is because that when one of our brothers come at them with the same energy force, they can't take it.
Right.
But yet they can be aggressive towards us, right?
Yes.
But as soon as one of our brothers, like Dr. Khalid, come with that Zulu strength, they can't take it.
They can't take it.
So unfortunately, like you were saying, we get people that mimic certain things. It's a watered down version. My whole thing is, as long as you're in your lane and you're not diverting from the central message,
right,
you can deliver it because we have different levels of how we supposed to punch, the old tool analogy, right?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to be a hammer, but you were given the gift to be a screwdriver, and see, that happens a lot too, where we want to mimic other people. We have to use the gift that we have and that strength and also stay connected to that spiritual energy you're referring to.
Right.
Solid. But make sure that we hammer on the point. And it's interesting that this young brother is saying this because that ties in a lot to what we're going to talk about today with the King Alfred plan. And we're going to break that down and how they have always gone after, as you appropriately said, our strong brothers.
Yeah. And right before Dr. Khalid was assassinated, in my opinion, he was organizing the youth. He was doing a million youth march. And they was like, oh no, you going after our youth and connecting with our young people, and our young people listening to him and say, Dr. Khalid said, Dr. Khalid. They're like, we got to get him up out of here.
That's their biggest fear.
Boom. Then I'm not sure too long after that, Johnny Cochran went, right? Or was it around the same time?
About around the same time, yeah.
Around the same time, they took Johnny Cochran out, and then they took Khalid out. That was done on purpose, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I say black people are prisoners of war, bro. We're prisoners of war in this country, and there's more than enough stats and facts to back it up.
Well, you're gonna love this presentation today, because what you're saying, maybe it was meant to be.
Definitely,
because we definitely gonna touch on exactly what this brother is talking about right here today.
Yes, and we're going into 2030 too. I've been hearing things about 2030. They said by 2030, you know, it's going to be a done dollar. So,
oh yeah,
we got to get going, man.
Oh yeah, no question.
2030, yeah, and it's 2026. That's right around the corner. Shoot,
it's here.
This year and went past. I took a nap and I woke up in December.
I think 2030 is a smokescreen. I think it's going to be earlier than that, but they have us looking at 2030, but they're trying to do the thing right now, or in a year or two.
Yeah,
you know, you got this cashless society. You got AI wanting to take the jobs.
Yeah,
you got the threat of wars, which they're going to have a war because the economy is all screwed up.
Yeah,
they're going to want to set that up.
Yep. Then they got the dual citizen thing that you just talked about. But that's simultaneous.
We're frozen to think for because our minds are stuck.
Yeah, they are not slick. They are not slick, man, with all this stuff that they're doing, man. They think they are. They ain't slick.
No, we see them. They're being exposed. Well, brother, if you guys are ready, I can get into the presentation. I'm sorry I was.
Oh, we're ready, brother. Okay. Ready, willing, and able.
Okay. So as we were talking, and the young brother was talking, and what you were talking about, Lance, it's still amazing to me. How long did you guys carry on the program? From the time that the show was supposed to start, we were talking from about 4 minutes after I came on. And we were basically just waiting and kind of tarrying to see if you'd make it in. I sent some emails, but I said, well, probably you already started on with the rest of your day. So we kept talking, kind of waiting. I said, it's time when I said, okay, you know, we'll restructure it and postpone it, put it out again. Yeah. And boom, we started talking, and here you are. So wow, it worked out good. That's a good timing. So yeah, today I just want to greet you as always, brother, and the family. I'm gonna open this window a little bit, get stuff in here, and yeah, always glad to be back with you guys. Actually, even whenever we do the show, it still feels like Monday. Still have that energy. But very important topic today, rhetoric versus reality. The government is against its own citizens, or rhetoric versus reality. Mm-hmm. And it's very important that we discuss this issue, because what's happening now in this country is there are things that we are not privy to that we need to start paying attention to now. Yes. Because of the legality involved in what can be done and what is actually being carried out actually had its roots in the 1960s. So the reason why we're talking about this today is because now more than ever before in our society, this absolutely 100% can happen. The information we're going to share today is it was released to the public or unclassified. It's from the Library of Congress. It's actually called code name Rex 84. This was a readiness exercise or preparedness exercise by the U.S. government using the military and all of the other agencies in the United States. So this particular plan actually correlates with what we know as the King Alfred plan, which was a fictional story that was told by this person. I guess he was an insider who was privy to this type of information and knowledge that the public did not even become aware of until 1987 with the Contra, the Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North and the
Irene Contra.
Yes. So that's when the public became aware that these documents existed. It was originally signed by LBJ, and it included blacks only. And we're going to deep dive into this today. And we're going to look at, because again, they have the ability to deflect our attention. Yes, Prop 2025, Project 2025 is the baby of what we're going to discuss today. Okay, so as I said, it was originally signed by LBJ in 1960 that included blacks, the only dominant minority at the time. But then Ronald Reagan amended it in 1984 to include Hispanics. And the gist of this document we're going to go through today is that in the event of widespread and continuing coordinated racial disturbances in the United States, the King Alfred Plan, at the discretion of the president, that's why this is so important. People don't realize that the president of the United States has a lot of authority under, certain situations. And it is to be put into action immediately. Now, there was another plan during this time. It was called Operation Garden Plot, which involved the military and the National Guard. You probably remember, Lance. And it also involved FEMA and the Department of Defense, just like today. So the thing that we really have to look at with this situation that we're dealing with now, and this King Alfred Plan, Rex 84, is the severity and the weight of it and the actual manifestation of it now in our major cities all over the United States. So on June 27, in 1988, President George H.W. Bush signed an order, that basically that all U.S. installations or military installations be turned into prisons. Okay, and the reason for that has to do with this document we're going to talk about today, the King Alfred Plan. So between 1960 and 1964, the National Security Council developed a government program called the King Alfred Plan. Well, that's what it was referred to as. It was Rex 84. The plan included and focused on four main areas that we see today: the arrest, the detention, the encampment, and the extermination of Black people in the United States. Now, this was very critical at the time, because we know what J. Edgar Hoover had in mind when he put these plans into motion. Okay, so again, this plan, it focused on the arrest, detention, encampment, and extermination of Black people in the United States. And in 1984, this plan was amended to include Hispanics. So that's why we see what we see going on today. It's no fluke, okay? This has been in the works for 60 years, okay? We know 60 is a celestial language, because this is when things manifest, like the Dogon and their Siggy every 60 years. But so a policy planning study entitled Rex 84, or now known as the King Alfred Plan, or readiness exercise. And in 1984, Bravo was a classified scenario and drill developed by the U.S. In February 1948, George Keenan, a State Department planning staffer, stated that the U.S. has 50% of the world's wealth while having only 6% of the world's population. And Lance, you're familiar with Memorandum 46 states that all Blacks in the diaspora must never be allowed to unite, in which we see that happening now, right? And in 1995, Memorandum 200, the national security brokered by then Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, stated that a reduction of the rate of population, or the depopulation plan, is vital to U.S. security. And since we will require large amounts of resources from less developed countries, but yet you get 80% of your resources in the United States from these so-called underdeveloped countries, right? And leaving them in shambles.
Yep.
So, so the important thing here is to recognize that although they have always preached this rhetoric about, you know, particularly during the political campaigns, of what they're doing for the American people, how they're going to go and change, you know, go to Congress and make it better for people, when in reality they were doing the opposite. Okay, and when we look at these congressional records, we're going to see exactly what they had planned, which we see being manifested today in the streets of America, even though they want to say, yeah, Project 2025 is just a baby of the King Alfred plan. And we'll see today what we mean by that. So the objective of the King, or the King Alfred plan, codenamed Rex 84, is that minority members will be unseated by the president, the minority members in Congress. So here's another thing that people don't realize, that the president has the power to remove people from Congress, providing you have a weak Congress like we have now. And this was one of the things that the founding fathers of these documents did foresee, that this could happen. Okay. So let's, if you want to put that picture of the tents up there that I sent you, I don't know if you got the.
Yeah, I got 6 photos from you.
Okay.
And
okay.
There's such a small thumbnail that
I know
it's hard to make out of the screen. I got my computer back a little bit, so I may hit the wrong one. Let me see.
Okay, but these pictures will kind of bring home. Yeah, right there. That's good. Thank you. So
there it is.
As you can see, the reality of what the cities in America look like is like this. Okay, but it's a reason for this. So let's look at this plan. It first appeared in John A. Williams' 1967 novel, The Man Who Cried I Am, which is a fictional account of the life and death of Richard Wright. In the afterword to later editions, Williams compares the King Alfred plan to intelligence programs devised by J. Edgar Hoover in the 1960s to monitor the movement of Black so-called militants. And this is what the young brother was alluding to earlier, that even back then, that these plans against our brothers who confronted them with that same energy that they bring to us, they couldn't handle it. Okay. And so while they were telling the public about, you know, the Great New Deal and all this in the 1960s, they were secretly using all of the weight of the U.S. government to keep mainly Black people in check. And then in 1984, then they added Hispanics or Latinos. Well, Latino is not, but Hispanics. Okay, so this is why what you see today, this is not a fluke. So you have people that know this history, that are operating in it through different terms, like Project 2025 or what have you. But this plan was not just thought of when we had the new administration to come in. This is a plan that goes all the way back to our presidents back to 1960. And I remember Gil Scott-Heron making a song, and I think it was 1972, about the King Alfred plan. But this is the reality right here. This is not something that was just thought of, you know, in the last 2 or 3 years. This is something that's always been, you know, and that's why when you hear Black folks say, "Look, we've always been the target," that's true. Because no matter who they're going after, their primary goal, okay, and we'll see this today, has always been to control and monitor the progress of the Black community. And they did that through focusing on perceived leaders, okay? So let's look at what happened. Let's look at what happened as a result of this King Alfred plan going into effect, right? So as I said earlier, the main purpose for this plan was that in the event of widespread and continuing or coordinated racial disturbances like what you see today, right? In the U.S., that the King Alfred plan at the discretion of the U.S. president is to be put into effect immediately. So that means that the National Guard, the military, all branches at the discretion of the president, like we see now, can be sent anywhere in the United States. Okay. And this is what people don't realize, is that if somebody has this type of authority and ability, then you can't stop it unless you use drastic measures to stop the actual president that has the power to do this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, some of our other presidents have used this in various ways, but they're so slick with how they do things that if you're not aware of that this exists, then you don't know what they're doing. So let's look at the participating federal agencies. Okay, and like I said, all of the federal agencies, okay, brother, I just wanted to show that the rhetoric don't match the reality. Okay, the reality is, particularly here in California, but I know from, you know, what I see in other states all around the country, that this is the outcome of what this plan was. Because people don't want to realize this. Yeah, there are a lot of whites and people of other cultures that are, you know, in this condition, but a large percentage of Black people have been hit hard by these policies and live in these conditions. Okay, so now we see, let's look at our most powerful 8 federal agencies: the National Security Council, the Department of Justice, the Central Intelligence Agency, the Department of Defense, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Interior. Okay, and also participating state agencies, that will be under federal jurisdiction if this plan is declared. The National Guard units and the state police. So, and then when you get to the local level, the local agencies that are under federal jurisdiction, of course, is the county and city police departments or sheriff departments. So this is a serious situation here where people are not aware that this can potentially happen. I think in some of the larger cities where you see this actually happening, that people are more aware now of the fact that this type of power and authority can affect any city or state in the United States. That is a fact. So I wanted to show some of the things that happened as a result of these plans, and now that it's being instituted. If you put another picture up there, Lance, I could roll with.
Sure.
Yeah, I could roll with it. But even before 1954, is that okay? Great. Even before 1954, when the Supreme Court of the United States of America declared unconstitutional separate educational and recreational facilities, that racial unrest and discord had been very nearly a part of the American way of life. Now, this was a memo.
Are you seeing the picture, brother? I'm not
Oh,
seeing
yeah,
it.
I see the picture. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see it on my end, so.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah, something weird going on. But
Okay.
when you're ready to take it down, I'll take it down.
Okay.
All right, just let me know.
So the viewers are able to see it, right?
Yeah, let me check with them if they can see it.
Okay.
That's the main thing. Can you see the photo that Neil has up? Listen to the chat room. Can you see it? Okay, okay. Calamunk says he sees it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's seen. Yeah.
Okay, great. So now again, before we get into the picture, I want to make this statement that one of the first memos we see is from the National Security Council. Okay, and this memo, well, I'll just read it. It said, even before 1954, when the Supreme Court of the United States of America declared unconstitutional separate educational and recreational facilities, racial unrest and discord had been very nearly a part of the American way of life. But that way of life was repugnant to most Americans since 1954. However, that unrest and discord have broken out into widespread violence, which have increasingly placed the peace and the stability of the nation in dire jeopardy. So these words were being used to gaslight, okay, a situation where, okay, well, the blacks are getting too powerful. Okay, so we got to do something about this, and that puts the nation in dire jeopardy. Okay, so and it went on to say that this violence has resulted in loss of life, limb, and property, and has cost the taxpayers of this nation billions of dollars. So here again, we see that they're trying to put the onus of the direction that the country is going in when our ancestors are fighting them back, to make it seem like we are a invading army instead of citizens of the United States. And that's the situation we find ourselves in today. It's amazing how this 60-year period has, reached, the energy of it has resurfaced 100-fold, because they saw us as adversaries, not as U.S. citizens. And they've always seen us like this, and they always will see us like this. And then they try to say that the violence that is caused by us fighting for our rights, whatever that violence may be, because we caught most of the hell, okay, then it's deemed as a threat to the nation, okay. And the end is not. And the other thing is, the focus was on how much money it's causing the taxpayers instead of the lives of the people that they were dealing with. And the end is not yet in sight. Okay, so this same violence has raised the tremendously grave question as to whether the races can ever live in peace with each other, and that each passing month has brought new intelligence that, despite new laws passed to alleviate the condition of the minority or Black folks, still is not satisfied. So they always use this line, this talking point, and this gets me when I hear these coons regurgitating this stuff, because they don't know real history. Because if they did, they would not repeat this stuff.
Right.
But clearly, they was, at the time, we were the model minority, Black folks. We were the ones fighting them in the streets for being discriminated against. So, and this plan, clearly, they said that if they had to put it into motion, then they would. So, and then they're saying that the little crumbs, we really wasn't getting crumbs back then, that we got, that we're still not satisfied. And I don't know what their idea of satisfaction was, but our people wasn't having it. And that's why, like I said, I always fight for our ancestors, because we would not be in the condition. Another thing too, that people that come to this country don't realize, if it wasn't for Black folks, nobody from any other country would have came, because the same King Alfred plan would have had them in check. Well, it did have them in check until they got in bed with them. That's the only way. So, so it went on, this memo went on to say that demonstrations and rioting have become part of the familiar scene, and that troops have been called out in city after city across the land of our image as a world leader, and has been severely damaged. Now, listen to what they're saying. They're saying that because Black folks was demonstrating against, being beat down and shot down in the streets like dogs and treated the way they were treated, that the demonstrations was giving America a bad image. That's all they cared about. They didn't care about your rights or why you were fighting against the tyranny and the terrorism that was imposed on our people. They were more concerned about their image. And they said that this 60 years ago now, that if they had to send the U.S. military into every city, they would. So this picture right here is a recent picture of federal Black workers who were unfairly put out of their jobs, okay, by a person who grew up in apartheid and a neo-Nazi who don't care about Black people. And now they have these people who, a lot of them have given a lot to the country in their service as civil servants. But look how they're treated.
Yep.
And so this is always in a soup line. And this has always been their attitude. Okay, they really don't, to this day, they really don't care about the state of Black America. The reason why the Hispanics and other model minority groups now are catching hell, because this applies, I guess somebody figured out, okay, we have the authority to move on this, okay? And since one of our presidents, Ronald Reagan, signed an amendment to include Hispanics, then that means that now we have the authority, the legal authority, okay, to move against these people. And that's what we're seeing right now. So it went on to say that the minority racial war must be considered inevitable. Okay. So what they're saying is that when they use the word minority, just replace that with black. Okay. But I have to use the language that they actually have in the documents. Okay. The minority racial war must be considered inevitable. So what racial war are you? So, you know, at the time, again, we were looked at as an invading army. So we had the weight of our own federal government against the black community. I don't think many people realize the weight of that. So when you talk about the things, when you're talking about overcoming, you're talking about truly overcoming against this type of weight against black people. So look at and so the reason why I wanted to show this picture is because this is proof positive that they don't care about us as United States citizens, okay, as taxpayers. But America does belong to black people, okay? In fact, black people can be thought of as the foundation of America. Now, I know the word has been used for other things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the spirit of black people, okay? Or what we call the black life force. So America is ours. So don't ever let nobody tell you about, you know, you're not an American. You're more of an American than the people that invaded this country. Okay. So they want to take all the credit for everything. No. Okay. And that's why it's important. And that's why, you know, they're moving towards not shutting down just black history or erasing it, but also the real documented history of the United States. Okay, so it went on to say that the minority racial war must be considered inevitable. And when that emergency comes, look at the language that they're using, emergency, okay, against United States citizens. We must expect the total involvement of all, at that time, they said their census said we were 22 million, but they included all of us, the men, women, and children. 22, they said that they must assume that the total involvement of all 22 million members of the minority, men, women, and children, for once this project is launched, its goal is to terminate once and for all the minority threat. Okay. The minority threat to the whole of the American society and indeed the free world. So you got arguably one of the most powerful organizations in the world, certainly in America, okay, openly saying that the 22 million blacks at the minorities at that time was a clear and present danger to American society. What American society are you referring to? Because again, blacks are more American than most people. So what are you referring to? Okay, brother. It was just interesting to me how this 60-year manifestation now is manifesting. So here we have another memo from the chairman of the National Security Council, preliminary memo to the Department of the Interior. Now I want to show what is that? Could you put another picture up there, Lance? Because this is very important right here. Yes, thank you. Now this is the unemployment lines of America. Okay. Now it's interesting that this memo to the Department of Interior that is responsible for things that happen within the geography of the United States, okay, or boots on the ground, like you like to say, Lance. Under the King Alfred, or under Rex 84, the nation has been divided into 10 regions. Now this is how deep this is. They divided the entire United States into 10 regions where they identified minorities and how they could neutralize you, how our government could neutralize its own black citizens in the event that there was some type of what's the terminology? The demonstrations, rioting, or racial discord. They could move on black folks, or I gotta use the language that they use, or the minority. We know who it was at that time. But in case of emergency, minority members will be evacuated from the cities by federalized National Guard units, local and state police, and if necessary, by units of the regular armed force using public and military transportation, and detained in nearby military installations until further course of action has been decided. Now that's very deep. So the two agencies that were responsible for coordinating this was FEMA and also the Department of Defense. So now we know we have a whole new different, which I can't say their name, but we know who they are, that's actually dictating this plan. Okay, so I'm gonna read that again because again, I'm so proud that black people, that their pineal glands are open and they're woke. So now you can receive this. Yes, our own U.S. government has always considered us as some type of invading army, okay, in some form. It's right here in their congressional records. A preliminary memo sent by the chairman of the NSC to the Department of Interior. Under Rex 84, the nation has been divided into 10 regions. In case of emergency, minority members, you know what they're talking about, will be evacuated from the cities. Okay, so when people tell you you can't be, you can be held in facilities in the United States, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe not so much deported. Okay, and this is what they're not telling you. But members will be evacuated from the cities by federalized National Guard units, and federalized, or you can look at it as deputized, local and state police, and if necessary, by units of the regular armed forces using public and military transportation. So they can commandeer public transportation. They can use any mode to take you to these facilities, any mode of transportations, to transport and detain in nearby military installations until a further course of action has been decided. No habeas corpus, no nothing. Until who's going to determine what further course of action should be taken? And on top of that, how is it that, well, we know that George H.W. Bush in 1988 signed an executive order. That's why you saw a lot of these military installations being closed down. No, Lance, actually the one I wanted you to show, you see the two brothers that's in the prison orange jumpsuits? Yeah,
Gotcha.
thank you. Yes, sir, thank you. And so this is what they had in mind when this memo was sent out, okay, that under this emergency declaration, that minority members, you're looking at right here, will be evacuated from the cities by federalized or deputized. Well, I can't put that in because that's not in the records. But you know what I mean. The cities by federalized National Guard units, local and state police, and if necessary, by, by units of the regular armed forces or our U.S. military, using public and military transportation, and detained in nearby military installations until further course of action has been determined. Now, if you remember a lot of those old Nazi, where they show those trains, public trains transporting people to camps, that's what comes into mind when they say that. Now, let's look at the 10 areas of the country that they have designated as these areas where these installations are, okay, that they're going to transport people to. The first one is the capital region. I'm assuming they're talking about in the Washington, D.C. area. The Northeast region, we know, D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York, Maine, Connecticut, you know, the Northeast. The Southeast region, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina. Oh, they got everything covered. The Deep South region, I don't know where. I'm assuming they're talking about New Orleans and places like Florida. And then they have another one, Deep South region 2. So they got it chopped up, just like the Berlin Conference in Iquibalon. They got it chopped up. The Great Plains, the Midwest, you're not going to escape. The Rocky Mountains, Colorado and these other places. The Southwest region, Texas, New Mexico, these different places in the Southwest. And then the West Coast region, California mainly, Washington State, Portland. So this is okay, brother. If you want to put another picture up there for me, this memo here Also, it said no attempt will be, I think if you can go to another one. Let's see. I know you. Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you. Right there. Now, I want to read this particular document, and then we're going to get, we only have one more set of documents here, but we're going to get into this. Because, see, the other thing about this plan that they're not talking about, and when we go back and look at the earlier pictures we showed of the tents, the tent cities where people are living in squalor, and then we showed the picture of the brothers in jumpsuits, okay, and then we showed our sisters, a couple of brothers who were federal workers in soup lines. Okay, so they're hitting you in all of the areas of human existence, okay? And the reason why I have this particular visual here is because they're also trying to eliminate the, I guess they call them useless eaters, okay, at the level where they have introduced these powerful drugs. Okay, so now they have a drug that they combine with fentanyl, which we know they're saying is already 100 times stronger than, are they saying morphine or whatever, or heroin, but they're mixing this horse tranquilizer that they call trank, okay? And it's also referred to the skin rotting zombie drug. Okay, and this is a picture. I'm not going to call the name of this area, but a lot of people are probably familiar with this because it's all over the internet. But this too, I believe, is part of the social dynamics that they're using to implement this plan. So we saw first the tent cities as part of this plan, because people that are in these conditions, they don't have the power to fight back. Okay, let's just keep it real. Okay, they don't have the power to fight back, and they're the most vulnerable population. So what they're going to do, they're going to create, because change comes out of chaos. Okay, and you determine the direction of the change. Okay, that's our saving grace. And what our people are doing now with the boycotts is I just never thought that we would reach this level, man. But this is it. This is how we have to fight back, because they view us not as American citizens, but as a threat to the U.S. government. Okay, and now with artificial intelligence, they can do more things. Okay, but I want that picture, to sink into your mind, because a lot of people, turn a deaf eye to what the reality, not the rhetoric. I deal with the reality. I go and I look at the reality. I don't listen to people on the news, because what I see in reality and what I hear them say on TV is two different worlds. Okay. And that's the first thing you got to recognize, is they're lulling our people asleep again, like the young brother was saying, because we don't realize that our energy is connected. You can't let people tell you, oh, that was the 60s. Oh, I didn't own a slave. Oh, bro. No. Okay. You can't do that. And the way that you have to do that is stop fighting each other over these little silly, about who cares. You're a child of the sun. I don't care where you are on this planet. I don't care what you want to call yourself. And we got a bigger fight that we need to prepare our children for than this silliness that's going on with our people. This is the one area where I have to say that we're not totally woke yet. Okay. And hopefully we can move more in that direction, because as long as you arguing and fighting with each other, we already know what Memorandum 46 said, that under no circumstances can they allow the diaspora to unite, under no circumstances. But yet you're helping them with this. You take these little isolated incidents that happens between Black Americans and people from other cultures, and then we want to blow that up. Like, you know, this is what they do. They take one situation involving one of our knuckleheads that goes out and maybe carjacks an old woman, and then they want to paint all of our young men in this light. Hell no. And we need to stop doing this too, gaslighting this crap. There are always going to be incidences where people from other cultures are going to have disagreements, okay? Unless you're in the perfect situation to see this, because if you come from another culture or country, there are going to be natural differences. And the way you learn to adjust to that may not be the best way. I was talking to a European guy the other day when I was fundraising, and they hate Americans. They hate, I don't want to say, I'm just going to say what he told me. They hate white Americans in America. That's what he said, not me. Okay. He said he hates the attitude. That's what he said, of white people in America. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, how in the world could you, you know me, I'm going to ask what, because when I hear a white man admit the truth, or a white woman, I need to know what, how did you arrive at this answer? And he said that they moved here 5 years ago and they're planning on moving back to Europe. He said that
wow,
what they hear about, just like what people in the Kibalon hear about America, you would think from the rhetoric that you're getting ready to go to the mythical heaven or something.
yes, yes.
This is the attitude that they put before the world, that this is America, is this land of milk and honey. No, it's not. It's not. It's the land of death and poison. Okay, yep. Which you can put poison first and then however you want to do it. They're the same. And he was so, and so he said, America lives by lies. I was like, yeah, you're right, brother. He had my attention then. I forgot about how much I was trying to get them to donate. I was like, okay. He was like, when we first came here, sort of like the people that came from South Africa. Now, when you hear them talking online, the rhetoric don't match the reality. Like the right. Show today, the rhetoric does not match the reality. And he was saying that, you know, they had a kid while they were here in America, and they took him to Europe, and he wanted to stay in Europe. He didn't want to come back to America. I was like, wow, that's amazing. He said his wife has been going back and forth, making plans for them to move back, but because of the nature of what he was doing, that, you know, he had to kind of like be solid for a minute, but that they're definitely leaving next year.
Wow.
So this picture that they're painting, you know, the thing is the reality, like what we're looking at now with them, with the fentanyl and trying to destroy the serfs and peasants, then the reality is that this evil that they're perpetrating on U.S. citizens is right out of their playbook, right out of their textbook. So to wind this down, okay, brother.
All right.
They also said no attempt will be made to seal off the Canadian and Mexican borders. Now, when I saw that, I thought about the open border situation, right? Now, I know, and you know, and anybody with any type of brain cells know that if you can shut down a country the size of Iraq in 30 days, shut their borders down, then how in the hell can you allow millions of people to come into the country and then claim, you know, we don't want them here? Okay, so at the same time that they're telling us this rhetoric, the reality of what they're doing is they created this chaos because the people, let's keep it real, that come to this country, I don't care where they come from, they put them right dead in the Black community because they're not going to put them in certain zip codes, okay? That ain't going to happen. And then they do this because they know the cultural dynamics are going to naturally create a natural conflict. So let's look at where they actually got the idea. We know from this book that they got the idea of the King Alfred plan in terms of its, name, but let's look at the mentality of the Secretary of the Department of Interior. So and they're talking about King Alfred, right? Between 849 and 899, King of England, who slaughtered thousands under the disguise of protecting the European religion of Christianity. Somehow we knew that was going to be in there. As a result, he is revered as one of the most noble kings in the history of England. And see, that's extremely important for our people to recognize that, you're talking about somebody that is the head of the Department of Interior that has this mentality. See, this is why they don't want you to connect to your genetic memory bank and erase all. Because when we teach our children the truth about American history, they can't be bamboozled or hoodwinked. That's on us. Okay? And I applaud you, a brother like you, for allowing this type of information, knowing that you're going to take the gut punches. I know I'm going to get gut punches. I don't care. Because this is more important that now this plan is in our cities. And Black folks are being told, no, you cannot be deported from the United States, but you can be detained. Okay. And this is part of this plan. So I want to go back and I just want to remind Black folks so that you can move accordingly what the four actual what their actual goal is of this plan: to arrest, okay, and this is all legal, detain or detention, okay, in camps here in the United States and old military installations, encampment, like you saw with the tents. And then what they're going to say is, oh, it's a crime for you to be living in these tents. Okay. And we see them doing that now. Right. And extermination of Black people. Let's just keep it real. These are their words, not mine or Lance's. So the thing is we have to keep our eyes on the prize and get away from all this foolishness we're involved with. Because these people are not playing. They have already put this plan into motion. Okay. So we see the reverence for an individual who slaughtered thousands of people in the name of Christianity. Okay. And now you holding this individual up as one of the greatest kings in the history of England. And not only that, this plan is named after. Okay. Not in the congressional records, it's Rex 84, but through association. Okay. So and here's another memo combined memo from the Department of Justice. Another one of our agencies that have the power to implement this, whether you like it or not. Preliminary memo to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. There are 12 major, preliminary memo from the Department of Justice to the FBI. There are 12 major minority organizations, and all are familiar to the 22 million. Now, the nation was on that list, at the top of the list. Why you think that is? That because they have always been at the forefront. Okay, the minister, Malcolm, Elijah Muhammad, I don't care what nobody say about them. These black men have always been at the forefront for fighting against these evil forces on our communities. That is a fact. And they're at the top of that list. But now they had 12 organizations that they listed at that time. I think the NAACP was one of them. You remember the old CORE? Yeah, they were on that list.
CORE, SNCC.
SNCC, yeah. There are 12 major minority organizations, and remember what that word minority meant at the time. And all are familiar. They're saying that all 22 million black folks at that time know these organizations. So they have dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and can be studied in Washington. So again, we know, and Lance, you always point this out to us, that they're keeping, digital records. So your digital blueprint is, they have that already. And okay, so these dossiers that they have compiled on the leaders of these minority organizations can be studied in Washington. So they kept the records in Washington, which makes sense. The material contained in many of the dossiers and our threat to reveal that material has considerably held in check some of the leaders. So in other words, they're saying their ability to blackmail you with the information they have, that was part of the game. Okay. So they have this information on you, and we know that they do this very effectively. And then they'll use this information against you. And all of us have a past. So I can take anybody and go back and find something on them that they're, not pleased with. It's a part of growth. It's part of life. So these are the type of evil games that they play, right?
Right.
One more, I want to bring one more into the record. This historical document about the King Alfred plan that's very, very serious, that black people need to pay attention to, okay? Because that authority is here right now. And as we can see, they're training the troops on the ground, boots on the ground, for what's coming next, as hard as this is to believe. The Attorney General of the United States, okay, the top law enforcement official of the United States at the time, we know, was J. Edgar Hoover, a man that couldn't stand black folks. He made it known. But what a lot of people don't know about his history, do some research on J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah, he's got an interesting history. But
It sure does.
he does, man.
I know.
I know you
He'd
know.
have a field day in the present day with social media.
Oh my God.
He'd be all
you
through our
imagine?
emails and our messages.
Oh my God. He would
He'd have all the nasty pictures everybody put out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He definitely would have that, and would have it uploaded.
Yeah.
Without, if he had this tool at his disposal during that time,
Oh, forget
it would have
it.
been very ugly for us. Because with what he had, he damaged people like Martin Luther King and all these. Who cares? These guys are men.
Right.
Ain't nobody care about their, at the end of the day, I don't ever see anything about Martin Luther King or Malcolm X exciting a riot to kill somebody. Okay. Or to have somebody essayed. But this memo, preliminary memo, was to the Department of Defense. And this is what he said. He said, we are confident that the minority would hold any city it holds for only a few hours. Okay, I'm gonna read that again, because this is what they believe, because of the military. We are confident that the minority would hold any city it holds for only a few hours. The lack of weapons, or the lack of weapons, would be the primary reason for their downfall. This memo is being submitted in lieu of a full report from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Okay. The person in charge, the commander of our entire military, like your cousin Colin Powell was. That report is now in preparation. And there will be many cities where the minority will be able to put into the street a superior number of people, because they know we ain't just going to lay down.
Right.
With a desperate and dangerous will. So they're saying when they do this and they bring this plan full force in the cities where, minority people are, now including Hispanics and the other model minorities, whoever they are, then they're not going to be able to hold any city they commandeer for more than a few hours.
Right.
And that they're going to be desperate, and that they're going to put up a fight. But that fight is not going to last long. And see, that's why you had these white boys.
No choice. It's a wall.
Oh, yeah. That's why you had these white boys always sticking their chests out when you see them, because they know they got these forces behind them against us.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why they do that. And it says that there will be many cities. Oh yeah, I read that. So it says he will be a formidable enemy, talking about us. He will be,
right.
For he is bound to the continent by heritage and knows that political asylum will not be available to him in other countries. So what they're saying is Black folks know they can't be deported, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, and this is going to be the reason why they're going to fight so hard for, you can't separate the fact that Black folks are America, okay? We're a major part of America. So they know, because of our heritage, for what our ancestors did to build America through all their blood, sweat, and tears for all these centuries of unpaid labor, all the slavery and the hell our people had to go through. And we always talk about all our cities that they burned down and put underwater. our blood is in this soil too deep to abandon it. So they know this. So they know that black folks are going to put up a hell of a fight. Okay. And finally, it said that the greatest concentration of the minority is in the Deep South, the Eastern Seaboard, and the Great Lakes region, and the West Coast. While the national population exceeds that of the minority by more than 10 times, talking about white folks, right? We must realistically take into account the following. An estimated 40 to 50% of the white population will not, for various reasons, engage the minority during an emergency. So what they're saying is they know that regular white folks is not going to come out and fight against us. Okay, so they're going to use the military. They're going to use that power because they're already saying at least 40 to 50% of white. And then again, too, you know, I want to say this, okay? There are white people that know that what's being done to our people is wrong, okay? But at the same time, it's almost like you having to make a decision. Am I going to protect myself, or I'm going to have to try to go out there and help somebody else? You know what I mean? So it's preservation of self first. And so a lot of them are just by default not going to confront black people. And the other reason is they know that black folks going to put up a fight, okay? That they know there's over 500 revolts in the history of the United States. They don't want to talk about the Denmark Vesey revolt. They want to talk about, what's his name, Nat Turner. They don't want to talk about this. But they already have the receipts on what happens when black folks' backs are against the wall. They know this. They know this history. So, and finally, they're saying that American armed forces are spread around the world. A breakout of war abroad means fewer troops at home to handle the emergency. And see, they keep referring to this as the emergency, right? And local law enforcement officials must contain the emergency until help arrives. So they already have a plan with a local law enforcement that's going to be the buffer for them to keep check on us, right? On black folks, wherever they are, until they can set up this King Alfred plan and have the military come in. Well, they're already in our communities now. Until help arrives and the facilities, logistics are all put in place for the minority. Yeah. So at the end of the day, my brother, all this unnecessary back and forth between our people, man, we are wasting valuable time by not organizing. And they already have their plan in place. Okay. And that plan, they showed you they're going to use that power, that military power that they have. They're going to use it. They are using it. And so we're going to have to look at now, because to be honest with you, if we connect, and this is almost, I don't like this word impossible, but I'll just say unlikely, going to happen in the next 5 years. At the rate they have our people in the diaspora going at each other over this silly stuff, they're going to keep us focused on that until, like they said, until they can get everything in place
Mhm.
to carry out this operation. So you keep going on YouTube, you know, happy that somebody has lost their home or somebody is broke, or, you know, just rewarding all the evil stuff these people have taught you when you're
Mhm.
supposed to be carrying the Ma'atan laws around in your chakra. You go right ahead. You're going to get exactly what they're going to get. Because at the end of the day, their power is not greater than the creative spirit. That's what I wanted to say in ending. But they can affect your daily life. And they know that this time, this energy vortex is open now.
Right.
So with that, I end the show, brother. It's just so amazing how you extended it. And I thank you for that, because it turned out, turned out perfect. No matter
Yes.
what
Yes.
sabotage, what the purpose of, what the purpose was.
Yeah, yeah. But we hang in there, and there's always going to be a way open. And if it's one door closed, 3 more doors will open. And just want to say that I see somebody in the chat room. I can't pronounce the name, but he's one of the brothers that come in. You've been a sub for years. The channel is new. It's been since February 2024. But I'm just going to end this. You said I've been a sub for years. Debate me. I'm a Black American Indian. Well, that's beautiful, and I'm happy for you. And especially in America, I mean, a man can claim to be a woman, and a woman can claim to be a man. You have some men that claim to be dogs. But I'll say this: melanated people are the original people of the planet.
Yeah.
And you can say Africa, the source of all civilization. So the whole planet is Africa. So if you're melanated, we're in the same boat. We can call ourselves different things. We can say different things, but we're all African. We're all melanated. Wherever you see us, we're family. So thanks for stopping by. I have nothing to debate about that. That's like seeing a cousin. It's not related.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about right there. So tell me how that's going to help us organize against the King Alfred plan. See, they got us stuck on stupid a lot. I don't care what you can be an Indian all you want. I don't care. Okay. All I'm saying is I need to keep
little
my
attention.
focus.
I guess they want.
Probably. You think these folks care whether or not what you call yourself? They don't.
I know.
I'm sorry to tell you, they do not.
You have, on the last note, you have so many here in the motherland who look down on Black Americans, not knowing what we've been through, but they go because they worship anything white. And when they go to America, they put them down and they run with others.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying they hate anybody, but you haven't studied history. You haven't been in our plight. Again, like I always say, if I tell you the stove is hot, you don't believe me. Don't just put your hand on it real quick on a quick visit and say, well, I felt it a little warm, but it wasn't hot. Put your hand on there and keep it there. Right?
Exactly.
And let me know how hot it is. Everybody can't be wrong. You know what I mean? Exactly. But thank you, Brother Neil. Thank you once again. Yeah, I'm glad we held on. On the replay, you'll hear us stalling a little bit, trying to keep the signal and dropping the signal and coming and, make a little bit of small talk. But I'll put in there when your actual presentation begins. And like I said, I'm happy. I'm glad. Thank you, brother.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to
Lance. Keep up the good fight, man. All the young brothers and the young sisters that's coming and chopping it up with you. It's a good thing.
Thank you.
And keep up the great work, brother. And I'll talk to you again soon.
Definitely, brother. Thank you so much.
Okay, brother.
Okay.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Much love.
Much love.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with us. We will be back on Monday. The good part about the show being later than Thursday is that Monday comes quicker. So I'm looking forward to that. I got some other things I'm going to be uploading tonight. Well, it's actually 10:39 for me. I'm going to try to, I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow early. So I'm going to try to get these pieces up and edited. And we'll be back tomorrow night because I know I have a full day tomorrow, unless I get a chance to do a little quick live stream out in the street, which I'm probably going to do. And it's always a pleasure. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I don't need 5 million subscribers. I just need the love and care of the people who understand and our little tribe over here. And I'm very happy about that. So anyway, much love. Let me move on to the next one. And I'll be back soon. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Martha. Actually, today I got to meet my friend Lance. Yes, I got to meet my friend Lance. This is my first time meeting him in person, and he's a very kind man, seriously. I do talk with him on phone, on WhatsApp, but I've never got to meet him. But today, it's just extraordinary. He's very, anything you want to know about life, anything you want to know about just human, anything you want to know about life, please. YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media channels, you got to find him there. He's very inspiring. He's very positive. If you want anything positive about life, please subscribe to LANCESCURV. And then every day you got to see different videos, different talks, different topics about life. See you.